All right. Yo, welcome to Juiced Up the Hard Way. This is our NFL special episode. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jake Juiced Up Accardo, joined by our other host, Bee LIVITY from the podcast 3 The Hard Way. Bee LIVITY, how we doing on Monday?
Live in effect, baby. Live in effect. Juiced up.
Yeah, juiced up every time, baby. I'm smoked up. I take a little bong rip before we started, too. You know, had to wind down from the day. So like I was saying in the start, this is going to be our NFL special. We're just going to talk strictly NFL on this episode. We're going to do a recap. We're going to talk about coaches' firings, and then we're going to go over the playoff seeding, and then our predictions of who's going to win what game, and then also our Super Bowl prediction. So here we go. So we had Week 18 finishing this Sunday, end of the regular season. On our last episode, we were only looking really forward to 3 games. That was Bucks at Carolina at Buccaneers. We had Ravens at Pittsburgh, and then also the Seahawks at the Niners. So Saturday, we had the Bucks in Carolina was the first game, pretty sloppy, rainy weather, not great for offensive stuff. And then we also had the Seahawks at the 49ers on Saturday, with the Seahawks winning, clinching the number 1 spot, winning the NFC West. Then we also had the Bucks beating Carolina, but then not winning the division, and we'll get into that once we cover that game. And then the last one that B. Liberty is really passionate about is the Pittsburgh Ravens game last night, ending on a missed field goal, botched extra point before that. So that was kind of how that game played out. But let's start off with the Bucks-Carolina game. Very rainy, not great for throwing the ball. What did you think of this game, B. Liberty? How did you feel about it, and how do you feel about the division winner also?
I think we both picked the Panthers going into this game.
Yep.
I was a little disappointed as far as the Panthers game plan, especially with the weather. You got Dardell out there, at running back. You got the duo combo at running back. You didn't use them.
Nope.
That was what I was disappointed in. The game was fucking close still.
Yeah.
But if you go, Dardell has been a huge benefit to that team.
Yeah.
And Bubba, they both got to do it. Like I said, the duo quarterback, duo running back duo. You got to use them, man, especially in those type of conditions.
Yep.
I was mad they got away from that, even though it was a close game. It was something I felt they still should have been able to win if they would have went to that duo running back combo.
Yeah, especially with the rain, you would think they would go run dominant, run heavy with the rain, being that with the O-line that they have at Carolina, but they really didn't. They kind of tried to pass the ball around. Second half, the rain settled down a little bit, so the offenses were able to get going a little bit better. This is kind of what I was going back to last episode, and I was talking about their play calling and keeping the rhythm of the offense. They have a good rhythm going. They're on Tampa Bay side of the field, and they fuck around and call a flea flicker. Like, what are you doing right now? Old boy slip.
We saw a lot of bumblehead plays yesterday.
But why are you calling?
That was just the beginning of it.
But why are you calling that as an OC? Why are you calling that play when you're throwing the ball fine on the outside? Guys are wide open. You're able to run the ball, but then you fuck around and call it flea flicker when there was no need for that. And that's the kind of shit that slows down the offense. It messes up the rhythm because you got a good thing going right now, and you call a bonehead play, puts you behind the sticks now, so you're at either whatever the down is, second and long or third and long, and you're almost out of field goal range at that point. Bryce Young did play well.
It's that getting too pretty at the wrong moments.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need to be pretty on certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3rd and 1 calls and stuff like that, we've seen too much of that this year.
Yeah.
And I don't care what kind of analytics you got going on. You don't need to get that pretty.
Yeah.
There's never a call for it.
Exactly.
Never.
Exactly. Analytics doesn't take in fact how the game is being played, what the guys are looking like. And Carolina, for being able to win the division outright, they didn't come out like a team that wanted to win it. Like, you would think they'd be flying around, smacking dudes around. Defense played pretty well, but I think the weather was also a helping factor in that also. But did you expect a better game out of either team, or is this kind of what did you think about the Bucks' performance, even though they won?
Well, I mean, I felt like the Bucks were on a downslope already. They haven't been that good of a team in the second half of the year, and I mean, the Panthers have been a whole lot better as far as progressing. With everything that was on the line in week 18, I thought the Panthers would have came out a little bit better than they did. Even though it was a close game, I think it was a game they still should have won.
Exactly.
But they didn't come out like they wanted it.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think the Bucks had the talent, but I think the Panthers, they should have had more of the want and the wanting to take the division from them. They've won it like the last 3 years, but you didn't see that urgency. And hopefully, this wakes them up to what they're really about to experience, which is first round of the playoffs, first round home game against the Rams. A lot of people's favorites. So we'll dive into that once we get into our playoff.
That is well though. That is well. We got to throw this into the card.
Yeah,
I think the Panthers knew they had to back way in with the whole Falcons game against the Saints.
Yeah,
I think that might have played part of it too.
Yeah, that's hard though. Like that's really, I think, work your nerves putting your faith into another team. The Falcons were playing well, so I guess you play the odds, but that's a good point. And then the other game was Seahawks-Niners. Not a great game. Brock Purdy kind of looked like his usual self once he gets under pressure. I'm telling you, you take Ed. If you take away McCaffrey, I was gonna say Ed is dad. If you take away Christian McCaffrey out of that offense, Brock Purdy is pretty much handcuffed. Like the guy, like they were shutting down McCaffrey. They couldn't get a run game. He wasn't the first option out of the backfield, so he didn't have these good like 5-yard dump offs where they yak it for like another 20 yards. He really had to play quarterback in this game. And once you get Brock Purdy playing quarterback, in my opinion, you have a good chance of winning the game. What do you think of Brock Purdy's performance and the Niners and the Seahawks going forward now having the bye week and playing good football?
It brought up some very glimpsing deficiencies.
Yeah.
Jawan's not that dude. Jawan's not that dude. You had what's it the tight end's name?
Kittle.
George
Kittle.
George Kittle. Like he didn't have his best game.
Yeah.
But you see how much missing Deebo Samuels.
Yeah.
You really saw how bad missing a secondary guy like that does.
Yeah.
They don't have that. Jawan Jenkins was supposed to be their go-to dude as far as a receiver this year.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen that a lot.
No. And the
last couple games, he hasn't gone for a lot of yardage the last couple games, even in their big victories and the amount of points they've scored. But you kind of see like their deficiencies as far as outside of McCaffrey, being able to go to McCaffrey, and when Kittles is on, they don't have that go-to number 1, number 2 receiver like they had in the past.
Because Deebo was like he did your dirty work. He was kind of like how the Rams used Puka, like edge arounds, calling those jet sweeps on the edge. Those guys that was catching those screen passes in the middle of traffic and breaking a guy that could break a couple tackles. And they also had no Ayuk this year. So, and then I think Pearsall was out also. So they were pretty limited.
Pearsall is a big, that's a big deficit right there.
But I mean, that's when go ahead.
I think with those pieces, it looks a whole lot better.
Yeah, but when you're paying your quarterback $160 million or whatever they're paying him, $120 million, this guy's got to come perform when he doesn't have the talent there. You know what I mean? Like you got to show out. This is for the division. This is for the 1 seed, home field advantage throughout to the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is actually at your place. So I feel like if you're paying a guy, 6 figures in the million range, he's got to ball out and he's got to step up his game. I feel like personally.
Yeah, I think that's been something that's been big. Like you having to go short and not having the mid route and deep options. That's always going to cost you.
Yeah.
But they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop that pressure either. So it was a lot of things that were wrong in that game. It wasn't just the ability to have a deep threat or a mid route threat. They weren't able to stop that pass rush at all. No. They were on Purdy's ass most of the game.
Yeah, and they couldn't really stop the run. Kenneth Walker almost went for a buck. I think Charbonnet had a pretty good amount of yards running, and now you're going up against. We'll cover that game next, but I think they're going to be going against the Eagles, so we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. And then our last game that was important was obviously the AFC North, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Came down to a game-winning field goal. Ravens ended up shanking it, but they also. The Pittsburgh had scored the previous possession and missed the PAT. Now, how do you feel? What had you so irked up? What has you so juiced up about this game, B Liberty? Why are you so juiced up?
I kind of want you to go first because I'm going to let off some steam with this.
Okay. All right. So I thought the Ravens, when they scored with the 2 minutes left, I thought they would be able to close the game out right there. Steelers had no really offensive threats with DK being out. Old dude Slips being in. I don't know if he was in man coverage, and the safety just didn't get over in time, but he slips. Guys wide open. I feel like Lamar turned it on at the end. I know I kind of felt like maybe they're going through the motions a little bit. They could have definitely ran Henry a little more. For some reason, they go to him and then they don't go to him. So I don't know what that was all about. D-Hop was basically a ghost out on that field to that last play. I totally forgot he was on their team. I forgot Likely existed until he made that last catch because he was nowhere to be found during that game. Mark Andrews didn't do a whole lot. So I feel like if the Ravens are going to keep Lamar and they're going to keep Harbaugh, you're going to have to bring in a new OC because this isn't getting it done. But we'll dive more into that when we go over fired coaches, and we can talk more about what coaches are still hired and where we think that should go forward. But let's hear your take now on the Pittsburgh and Baltimore game and how's you so upset about it.
So, I mean, Baltimore, even though it was a slow game, they didn't do what they needed to do They did what they needed to do offensively. This comes down to the defense. This is not the Ravens defense we're used to.
Yep.
This ain't the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed days.
Yeah.
The stuff they gave up, without a DK Metcalf, come on now.
Yeah.
The Steelers should not have came back. But I'm going to get down to one motherfucking point here. Hear me clearly. Me clearly. Let me take a sip.
I got you right here.
The motherfucking kicker. You got rid of one of the greatest kickers in fucking NFL history and Justin Tucker for this motherfucker because he likes to get fucking jacked off twice a week. You got rid of that shit? Because he likes to get jacked off? Come on now, man. You're not supposed to lose it for a fucking 44-yard field goal. And they barely deserve to be in this position to begin with.
They kind of misplayed that whole scenario too because they could have tried to get closer. They could have made it like a 40-yarder or a 35-yarder.
But
they could have got a little closer.
A 44-yarder in today's NFL is a chip shot. The way these motherfuckers is kicking 60-yarders this season.
Well, you got the guy on the Jaguars kicking 67-yarders on the Jags.
Come on now, man. A 44-yard field goal. Yeah. Come on, man. Because you were mad about Tucker getting jacked off twice a week. You cost yourself fucking million.
He was getting his rubbing tucks.
Get the fuck out of here.
His rubbing tucks.
Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit's fucking literally $7,000 a year if you break down the 18-week season. A $7,000 habit, and you lose this shit.
Even Bobby Kraft was getting
bringing millions.
Even Bobby Kraft was getting rubbing tugs. The Patriots owner in the Florida spot.
Come on,
he had a little Ginsey.
This is why you lost. And another thing, I don't want to hear shit about Lamar Jackson being the cause of this shit. If he puts you in position, the last 3 seasons, fucking Andrews missed it. You got a fumble for motherfucking Zay Flowers, and then you got this motherfucking kicker.
Yeah,
come on, man. It ain't Lamar, and Lamar wasn't even at his best, and he still made plays for you.
Well, that's a whole other topic. That's another topic for another day.
That defense, man. Lamar Jackson only threw the ball 18 times yesterday. 18 times. Derrick Henry went for fucking 100+ yards in the first half on 18 carries.
So you bring up the 18 attempts for Lamar, right? So is that this guy's a 2-time MVP? You don't put a little bit more? I mean, the weather wasn't bad. I mean, so you don't ask him to do a little more? This is not on him. You don't ask him to do a little more?
Not this time. You can't. I mean, it comes around the players around you being able to step up. This was not on him.
Do you think
if
they
he
win?
Put you in position to win that game, if you're in position to win that game with a 44-yard fucking field goal at the end, your quarterback put you in that position.
That's true.
He made the throws he needed to make.
That's true.
He made the throws he needed to make.
That is true. He made some big throws at the end. The deep one to Flowers when he broke away from Queen on the scramble play. That was a good one. And then they had him butt naked.
11 of 18 yesterday. Yeah. He didn't throw the ball a lot. He made the throws he needed to make.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers threw the ball damn near 50 times.
Yeah, he threw 47 times with no receiver. But that's also
accountability.
Yeah, that's also them just not being good at anything on offense. Like they just have to put it in his hands. It's like, hey, just let Rodgers do something with it, even if it's gonna be check down Charlie the whole game. You know what I mean? But that is a good point.
No DK Metcalf. No DK Metcalf, and you could have stopped that on defense. That's the bad part.
So that was the Ravens and Pittsburgh game. Comes down to a field goal. It always comes down to the guy that only has one job. There's only one guy on a football team that they have to do one thing, and that's the kicker or the puncher. And if you cannot do that one thing that good, you're not going to have a job for that long. But they invested.
You ain't out there running every week and doing that shit, doing fucking cardio. Adam Sandler said it best. Nobody likes the kicker, and now we know why. You son of a bitch.
That's classic. That is definitely a juiced up take right there. So that was our NFL recap for Week 18.